I hope you're all having an absolutely amazing day. Welcome to the third episode of Grow with Sam. Thank you so much, firstly, for the feedback from the previous videos. Before I speak about what I'm going to speak about, I'm going to ask you all to please, by the end of this video, if you see the benefits and value in it, please like, comment, tag anyone that you think could benefit from this, as well as sharing it, because this topic is, I know this will be one of real value. I was asked the question if there was any one particular word that has really changed my thinking and me as a person since I embraced it. And straight away, two words came to my mind. I really sat down and I really had to dig deep to my core, and I thought about this question a lot. And the two words, number one was grateful. Okay, number two was accountability. And that's what we're going to speak about today. Now, there was a few other words that probably fell just short of making the list, such as discipline, for example, or principles. However, I'm going to leave them for a separate podcast further down the track. Now, grateful, obviously, I've already spoken about it before. Ever since I embraced that word, it's just changed me completely as a person. It's put me into a state of equilibrium. I'm in charge of my own life in a way, by being in control over my own emotions and therefore actions. So you will find me, touching base on the word grateful on many of my podcasts, and I apologize for that, but it is a word that if you truly embrace, it will change the quality of your life. However, today's word is accountability. Now, this, I can honestly tell you all that the word accountability has been responsible to probably 90% of the success in my life, if not more, okay? There are just so many benefits of being an accountable person. I can honestly tell you that during my last 7-year career, I have never ever came across a successful person who was not an accountable person. Every successful person that I've ever rubbed shoulders with, they were all accountable people, okay? Now, being an accountable person, it pretty much allows you to be in control, okay? So in a sense, it allows you to be the master and commander of your own ship, Now, who in their right state of mind does not want to be in control of their life, for example, okay? And that is exactly what being an accountable person allows you to do. Now, I just want to share with you guys my story as to why I believe that the word accountability is so important for anybody that wants peace of mind and success, okay? Now, I've been working in the medical device sales industry for about, as I said, just over 6.5 years, okay? And obviously, just like any other sales company, there's targets to be met. And once the targets are met, there are rewards set in place. Now, the company that I work for, we have got a pin structure in place, okay? Now, the pin structure pretty much is, the number of particular sales targets that you meet over a period of time, you get a particular pin. Obviously, as you go to the higher pins, they get more difficult. Now, I don't know what sort of possessed me to do this. Before I joined this company, I never read a book on accountability or anything as such. Now, as I said, in the company's 70-year history, only 7 or 8 people have achieved the 8th pin, and that is the pin that I am up to. So in the course of the last 70 years, I'm the youngest person to ever achieve that pin during the period of time that I have. Now, I am not saying this in any way, shape or form to brag, okay? But I'm saying this to you guys because if it wasn't for the word accountability, I would have never ever been able to achieve it the way I did or during the time frame that I did. And this is the reason. Now, from pretty much the first moment that I joined the business, the first few pins, the first 3 pins, my manager's name is Steve, absolutely brilliant man. Now, I took the initiative to get in contact with Steve and to tell him, Steve, I'm going to go for this, pin number 1 or pin number 2, pin number 3 from this day, and I'm going to achieve it by this day. Could you please, write this down in your diary? Now, what is that if not accountability? Okay. Now, that to me, accountability is, is being responsible, okay, and holding yourself accountable pretty much, okay? To me, that's what accountability is, and sticking to your word, and that is extremely important to me. And that was also the reason why on Thursday when I was in Canberra and I was having difficulties uploading my video, which I uploaded just over the weekend when I got back home, I was so upset and disappointed because just the day before I uploaded a picture on Instagram with that growing old face app, and I said that I'm going to upload my next video in the next 24 hours. I was holding myself accountable because I have extremely busy days at work. I do this in my downtime so that when I finish from work and I come home, I am not lazy. I've held myself accountable to you guys to say that I'm going to upload the video. So when I wasn't able to do so, I was extremely disappointed in myself, and it was all part of being an accountable person. Now, anyways, back to the story. So with the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th pin. Now when I went out to achieve those pins, I rang the national directors of the company, for example, that I work for. I rang the board of directors, the national sales and marketing managers. That had nothing to do with what I was doing, but I reached out to them to let them know what I was going out to achieve and by what day I was going to do it, okay? Now that is extremely high level of accountability, all right? Now, for me, for example, the way I see it is, people that you look up to, okay? Now, when you give them your word, I had that much positive energy in order to achieve all the goals that I wanted to achieve, because I did not want to be seen like a mediocre person, okay? Because essentially that is, and by doing so, I utilized every minute of my day during those periods of time so well, and that is one of the powers of being, one of the benefits, sorry, of being an accountable person. Now, overall, I can think of 5 key benefits of being an accountable person. Number 1, you use your time sufficiently, like no other way I ever have before. Number 2, you become a responsible person, okay? Number 3, ultimately it allows you to be in control, which is very, very important, okay? Number 4, you place a greater amount of time on more important things and less amount of times on the least important things. And last but not least, you grow. You grow as a person and as an individual. Now, us human beings, we're creatures of bad habits, okay? And over time we can get lazy with things like this. But before I even get to that, actually, I'll tell you guys how you can become accountable. Firstly, become a list manager. For anybody in sales, you've probably heard of the name Brian Tracy. He was absolutely brilliant in his days. He still is. His content's still around. Now, Brian Tracy always used to say that become a list manager. What he meant by that was every night before you go to bed, that's the time where things come to your mind the most, of the things that you got to do the next day. Create a list, even if it's something small like going to the post office, sending something away, sending emails. Just put as many things down, and the following day try and tick as many things off, okay? That is why anybody that knows me, you'll never see me without my diary. And one advice I can give you, if you don't have a diary, invest in one. Number 2, set goals. There's a saying that a life without goals is like a race without a finish line. You keep going around in circles, and that is so true. Have short-term, have long-term goals. I have never met a successful person who was not goal-orientated. Now, as I was saying before, us human beings, we're lazy creatures, okay? So over time we can get lazy, we can get negligent, with having the discipline to continue being an accountable person. And how you can continue remaining to be an accountable person, the first way, make sure it all correlates with your true values, okay? With your true values and your purpose and your principles, a topic that I'll speak about down the track on my other podcast. Number 2, share your goals with people that you love and have them hold you accountable. Before, I used to go and set out for every pin run, I used to tell my cousins or my uncle or my parents what I was going to do, just more accountability. And last but not least, okay, is that you have to reward yourself. This is such an important aspect. Sales, especially, for example, it can be a very stressful, job, as well as anything else. And it's, and rewarding yourself after achieving a goal is like, refueling an empty fuel tank. That's how important it is, okay? So, look, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that was, Steve, I hope that answered your question as to why I believe accountability is so important. No matter what line of work you are in, if you want to grow in general, you must become an accountable person. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, who is responsible for our own personal development and growth? We are. And when is the best time to do something about it and start doing so? Straight away, as of now. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you took any sort of value away from this video, as I said to you at the very beginning of the video, this is something that every single person in any gender, any line of work can benefit from. If we can all increase our accountability by an extra 10 to 20%, I promise you all that we will achieve at least 60 or 70% extra on top of what we are right now. So again, thank you very much for your time. Please like, comment, tag anyone you think could benefit from hearing this. Share this on your social media platforms, please. Help me with my goal of spreading knowledge and love. And yeah, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next episode in a few days. Thank you.